Maybe I'm crazy, but I am 100% in on space burgers.
You going to space?
I actually would like to go to space.
You want to go to space?
Yeah.
Let's go to space.
I used to want to be an astronaut. I was inspired by Mae Jemison, who was the one of the first, if not the first, black female astronauts.
Mae was?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about Mae Jemison.
You don't know nothing about Mae Jemison?
What made you not want to be an astronaut anymore?
Oh, I'm not smart enough. I mean,
okay.
You know, they don't send people to space for fun yet.
There's literally something called rocket scientists.
Yeah, and I'm not that. Although, nope, just not that.
Yeah, shout out to NASA.
Yeah. So once I figured out you have to actually do things in space that contribute to society and science, I realized it's not for me, and decided to go into sports broadcasting instead.
Yeah, gang.
Yeah, there you go. I also thought I was going to be the president, which is still in play.
Hey.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not.
Welcome to Maybe I'm Crazy Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. That's Brandon Newman.
Hola.
The newly married Brandon Newman. Once again, you have forgotten to remind me to bring you your gift.
Now it's on me again.
Yeah.
But now in my mind, you already gave me a gift.
True.
Let's talk about this real quick. Earl slid into the Chase Quick Pays of the world, gave me a gift, text him back, tell him thank you.
He gave you and your wife a gift.
Yeah.
He did not give you a gift.
There was an us.
Yeah.
Michelle keeps correcting me every time I tell the story.
It's a new thing now. It's
Michelle constantly corrects me.
It's we, it's
and
us.
she know, trust me, whatever
Just
the
so
money
you know,
was, I sent right to her anyway.
You don't exist anymore. It is a we.
That is,
There is
okay.
no I.
Yeah, that's going to be, that's what's
There's
been
no
different.
I in marriage.
There's like a tethering. There's the tethering.
Yeah, you're tethered, yes.
Yeah, the tethering feels real.
Yeah.
This thing is crazy.
It should feel
this
real.
little ring is
That's
just
the
like,
point.
just for everybody out there, like,
It's a circle. And it goes on forever.
And
There's
it's
no breaks.
always. But
Yes.
anyways, with the Earl's gift to us,
Our gift.
our gift, we went and bought a new TV.
No, it was our gift also.
Oh,
I
it's
have
your-
an additional gift.
Oh, you have an additional
Because
gift?
the original gift was from us as well.
Oh, when I mentioned it to you, you had some words. I figured you was just trying to separate.
No, I
So
assumed
y'all have
that
a
he
gift
gave you,
joint.
that
Okay,
he
just
took
parts of
care
the
it.
gift. Part one of the gift.
Really went off the rails.
Part
The
one of the
point
gift was
is-
great.
Yeah,
Thank you so
okay.
much.
Maybe you'll get part two if you remind me. I'm putting it on you. I've said this too many times.
Remind us in the comments for Joy to give me my wedding gift.
It's not yours.
Oh, yeah. Remind us in the comments for Joy to give our wedding
There you
gift
go.
that's for Michelle and I,
There you go.
because we're a collective now.
You are.
I know.
literally.
Yeah. I'm saying it to.
Well,
I'm
you
reminding
have,
myself.
You have become one.
Amen.
Yes. You are equally yoked. That's for you church folk out there.
Hey, and egg whites.
We will get to some church later, some major church news. So, I might need to attend that service. But on another note, we lost a real one, and we are in LA, obviously. So we are feeling the effects in a kind of a different way.
Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle
Feels real.
was murdered on Sunday, which felt like it felt like a Tupac Biggie impact.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how you received it when you heard the news, but I mean, everyone obviously found out through social media what had happened, at least that he had been shot, and then soon after that he had passed. But it was such it's a feeling I really haven't had since Michael Jackson passed. Maybe when Prince passed, I felt this way. Oh, shout out to Prince.
Shouts out to Prince, the jersey.
Yeah, Hooper for real.
Yeah,
for real
life.
Yeah.
Check the stats.
Oh, he hooped.
He hooped. Yeah.
At 5'2".
Sure.
Shout out to 5'2".
Shouts
I'm
out.
stealing your thing. Shout out. We'll get to that later.
Yay! Shouts out
anyway,
to shout outs.
the point is, it felt like it still feels like a very heavy feeling.
Yeah.
And you try and kind of put it in perspective, like this is somebody that you don't know.
Right.
But I feel like the impact of that one act of violence has affected millions of people, and I just have this incredible feeling of sympathy for Lauren London and their kids and his family.
Yeah.
It felt so violent and impactful, and then immediately you saw the impact that it had on the sports community, which, all of us, privately, discuss what's happening with it. We're obviously all following the details of the investigation. They had a vigil last night, which turned violent again. And it's really sad is not the word for the whole situation, because he was really a he was more than just like a cultural icon and a rapper. What he was doing was on Tupac level, influential, inspiring, giving back to the community, and not just, you know, donating stuff. Like, he was really in the hood, really with Black-owned businesses, encouraging Black-owned businesses to thrive in his own community. He was supposed to meet with the LAPD on Monday about ways to reduce gang violence. Like, he was really on another level.
Right.
I don't even want to say ahead of his time. He was, but he was really speaking for what we should all be doing right now. Like, invest in yourself, invest in real estate, and not, you know, bling. That's cool. You know, enjoy your earnings, but do it in a way that, you know, supplies for your future. And he was preaching a lot of things that really impacted not only just the music culture, but the sports culture. And it really got me thinking when we were discussing yesterday, this is just on top of everything else and the sadness of it, and you know, the losing, the loss of a cultural icon, and, you know, a brother and someone that a lot of people respected and was doing great things for the community. It feels like it's a reminder of just the state that we're in right now. I just feel like we're going to look back on this time the way that people who lived through the civil rights era look back on those times. Like, we're in such a transformative time right now with the media, with everything that's going on with the presidency, with just the amount of hate and division that goes on. And and just like anything that's happening in our society, it pours over into sports. It pours over into culture. And this was such a strong example of the crossroads with culture, music specifically, and sports. Like, the influence that music has over the sports community is incredible, and it's sometimes often ignored.
It's fuel. It's
It is
fuel
fuel
for these people to aspire and reach their dreams.
Well, because it's art, and it all moves full circle. Like, one influences the other. Like, Nipsey was at the Texas Tech game in Anaheim just the other day. He was always front and center at Laker games. Like, was at
the fight, the first game. He made sure he always claims he's a LA fan, Clippers and Lakers, but he was at the first game for LeBron. LeBron had just spoken to him recently saying that he wanted to get to more Lakers games. So yeah, it's for other people. I try to think of news and think of people who like aren't as close to the situation as we are.
Right.
For to bring up something that maybe people can wrap their minds around, Kendrick Lamar put out his like first real album when Good Kid, Mad City came out in 2012, and it was phenomenal, and people around the music industry knew about Kendrick Lamar. Like, at that point in time, he had a verse on Drake's Take Care album, so like he was out there, but mainly in the community and mainly in hip-hop community. If we were to have lost Kendrick Lamar in 2013, this is comparable to what this feels like for people. I would just try to put that out there to help people wrap their minds around what Nipsey was doing and what he was going to do, and just the ground that he had laid. Like, you won't hear another person say anything negative about Nipsey because they experienced him in real life and felt the heart. And honestly, like, I say this a lot about people, and it's kind of a religious thing, but like, to see the God in someone without even believing in that type of thing, this is the type of person that he was. And it was taken from him by someone who was a member of his gang. And obviously, like, the details and things like that, and like, this all an ongoing investigation, so I won't speak on that too much, but for it to be in the neighborhood that he grew up riding his bike around, he and his brother and his uncle bought that entire strip mall complex that's all owned by him across the street from neighborhood in the elementary school and middle school that he went to. That just adds to the tragic. And obviously with social media, everything's amplified, but I hope this wave of sadness ends type of senseless violence like this, because these things aren't to be celebrated in the community anymore, and I'm sure at one point in time they were.
Right. No, it feels like that is something that this is something that could really spark that conversation, because we talk so much about the violence that is put on to our community. So we have to talk that much about the violence that happens within our own community.
Breeds within the community.
And again, it's just an overall impact, like, feeling, and it feels so heavy, and I really can't shake it, because I keep thinking, you know, the visuals are obviously so dramatic, and there's horrible stuff on social media. Like, you know, obviously the videos are out there, and it just feels like, I mean, you saw the reaction that Kevin Durant had and Steph Curry had, and so many NBA players have. You mentioned LeBron, CP3, Boogie. Like, a lot of these guys had relationships with him, Kyle Kuzma, and it felt like you really feel like you lost a member of the community.
Yes.
Like people
Yes.
say that term, like this is a person you don't know.
Yeah.
And obviously we grow a connection to athletes, we grow a connection to artists because we attach good memories to the entertainment that they produce.
Of course.
And so that kind of puts us in a crossroads when something wrong happens, but it's that impactful when they are doing something positive in the community as well. But my bigger point to all of this, like aside from how we're all feeling about it and, you know, the reaction from NBA players and all of that, is just, it's important to me, like in these moments, that you really take a moment to recognize the impact of what it is that's happening. Like we talk about a lot of stuff. Like we talk about Kaepernick. We talk about you know, Shut Up and Dribble. You know, we talk about just 2 Chainz's album. You know, Rapper Go to the League. Like all of these things are kind of spoken about in the abstract, and you very rarely take the time, especially if you're not someone who has experienced it, to hone in on what it is actually being said. Like we live in such divisive times where it's like, I feel this way, and if you feel this way, I don't even want to hear what you have to say. And I think that's something that really has to adjust if we're all going to survive, like on a bigger macro scale. But that's why it's so important for athletes to be vocal when they feel inspired to be. Like the pushback on athletes who are talking about things that are going on in their community and social issues, and talking about what you should do with your money, and talking about, you know, how to treat women or how to treat children, and what Kaepernick did. Like the reason that people fight so hard to protect Kaepernick or to stand up for Kaepernick is not because people just want to be lazy with their political take, or because, you know, we're just complaining because, you know, we just want special treatment or something. Like it's so much bigger and deeper than that. And I wish people would take the time, like, to sit down and really realize people like Nipsey, who have an opportunity to get out of the hood and use their talents to go anywhere in the world and provide for their family, and still choose to come back and not only invest verbally, but invest literally in their own community to help make it better. Like athletes who do that should be celebrated always. No matter whatever your political affiliation is, you need to recognize the impact that has on the community as a whole. And it's hard to understand, like maybe you don't know Nipsey's music, or maybe you don't understand what those neighborhoods are like because you've never been there, you've never experienced any kind of violence like that, or never known anyone who's experienced kind of violence like that, or never had interactions with the police like that. Just open your mind, expand your mind to the idea that this is really how certain people grow up and live, and the violence that they see every day, and the impact that it has on generations to come. And the reason why that exists is not because it's a choice. Like there are institutional control issues, like the way literal cities are set up keeps people marginalized. And when athletes they don't have to do that. They can go live in Malibu and not pay it, not give a dime back to the community, live their life, play their game, and ignore everything that's going on from the places they came from, or even places that they didn't come from. Like maybe they didn't have a hard time growing up. They don't have to give back to the community. It should always be celebrated. Like Kaepernick, we just saw at the Honcho Day of the North game with Saquon Barkley was there, and Gucci, and obviously
Julio Jones was the MVP last year.
Kaepernick's not going away.
No.
And I don't want to make this about Kaepernick, but I just want to pull him as like an example for this. Like he's not going away. Just because there was a settlement and there's just kind of an overall feeling that he's not going to get a job in the NFL again, the culture's not forgetting him. Like he what he did was impactful, and 30 years from now, 40 years from now, we're going to look back on this whole time very differently than the way that you may see it right now. Like there's a reason why people are begging everyone to be on the right side of history. Like don't dig your heels in over one issue. You need to see the bigger picture of the people around you. Like everybody doesn't have the same experience as you. Be open-minded to the idea that someone's struggle may actually be influencing where they are in their life. So to me, this is like a bigger conversation of we need to appreciate the people that are taking the time out of their lives, their money, their emotional effort, away from their family, away from their kids, and putting themselves out there for criticism to do the right thing or to do something in their community and stand up for marginalized people. Because that's what Nipsey was doing, and that's why the reaction is so impactful.
You said it perfectly. That's it. I mean, listening to his music, I encourage everyone to go stream his music. Victory Lap, his album, that was under his All Money In, No Money Out label that he created in conjunction with Atlantic for the release of, but 25% of the streams goes directly to him and his family. So I say go out there and stream Victory Lap. He claimed he's Tupac of his generation in that album as well, in dedication, and you know, sometimes you speak things into existence in a negative way as well, but he really was that. Yeah,
I mean, life imitates art, and sometimes in an unfortunate way, but he was right in that regard, and it feels like that eerie feeling, but I hope that everyone gets, and it feels that way. It feels like everyone's on the same page, like about how wrong it was, right, and what we all lost as a community. And even if you don't know anything about Nipsey, just pay attention to the reaction that the community has to it, because
and be sympathetic, because there's some people that are just like reading this as just another rapper shot, and just another rapper dead, and like this a normal storyline, and they're probably looking at this weird, like, why is everyone up in arms and mobilizing and coming together with this when this used to bring people apart? But this is a different time, as you said, period, in society.
Yeah, and I hope that is what happens. Like, I hope everyone sticks together the way that, you know, the reaction is showing that they are. Like, just the vigil itself, like turning violent again, is like, the outrage that you feel about what happened should continue. Like, allow that fire to fuel positivity, because it feels very sad. Like, just even thinking about like what his family is going through, you just feel like, I don't know about you, but I just feel sad. You can't
escape it. I was at the Dollar Tree yesterday getting a gift bag, and the cashier was saying, like, I'm sick right now. And I was just like, you know, I talk to people randomly, obviously, always, all the time. And I was like, she's like, I'm sick right now. And I was like, oh yeah, the weather's getting warmer in LA again. She was like, no, like this Nipsey thing, like my boss told me I gotta stop talking to people about it. And I was like, this is a young Hispanic woman from LA who I'm just passing by in a Dollar Tree and just couldn't stop but talk to me about how she's feeling at 4 p.m. on a Monday after Nipsey was passed. Like, it's just deeper than a lot of things, and this is one of those things, like, just be respectful during this time, and obviously, but like, support.
No, totally support. But to me, that was the, like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase all of it, and to me, I was like, that bigger picture, like, this is why Kaepernick was supported so much. This is why Westbrook was supported so much. Like, this is why in these situations, it's like you have to fight the way that you do, because you've got to break through and change people's hearts, and like, it's crazy, again, like, that one act of violence could affect so much, but hopefully that, you know, the reaction and coming together and that whole feeling and movement continues with it, and, you know, obviously hopefully they get some justice for him and his family.
Yeah. With it. With it. Quit it.
What?
With it.
We about to turn up in this bitch.
All right, what am I winning or quitting today?
Duke is out of the tournament after losing to Tom Izzo's Michigan State, led by Detroit's own Cassius Winston, with his 20 points and 10 rebound performance. The Final Four is set, but it will not feature Duke's Zion Williamson. Joy, April's March Madness will still be interesting without Zion. With it or quit it?
With it.
Yay!
It felt very dramatic, Duke losing.
I feel like you're going to be on the opposite side of this.
No, I mean, I'm normally for big brands,
right,
and things that attract fringe fans.
Ratings and whatnot.
Yeah, because ratings are good for everyone. That's facts.
How the money comes.
Right. I mean, but if ratings are down for something, then that means the reaction ratings are going to be down for something. So I'm cool with all ratings being up for anything sports related. In general, big brands do that, and big names do that, and obviously Zion is the biggest name in college basketball at the moment.
Yes.
And for the first time in a very long time. However, honestly, I was more upset, if I don't use the word upset because I wasn't like literally upset, but I was more bothered by Purdue losing.
Ooh, why?
Because Edwards went off, and it was such an incredible watch, and I felt like I was watching what's going to happen in the NBA, because those shots were NBA range.
Yes.
And everybody loves
NBA confidence too.
Right.
Yeah.
And he has an NBA body.
Yeah, I guess he does. I never really thought about it because like these guys in Purdue and like people that are proud to be in college, like a Steph Curry, who's just like a shooter. You almost think mainly about them in the college in the team that they're playing for because they're not the Zion Williamson, not the huge names.
You tend to forget their college career,
right?
But I wanted to see more of that. That was an incredible watch. And I mean, Duke. You got to remember, like most of Duke's games came down to a lucky bounce.
Yeah, I would say this. This is a weird time. Obviously, with all sports, you want to get better as the season goes on. But for college basketball and college football, you have to be playing your best football and best basketball at the end of the season. And Duke played 4 of their worst games of the season in the tournament, and Zion had 4 of his best games of the season in the tournament.
Right, and I mean, everyone was coming down on RJ Barrett, which I think is incredibly unfair.
Right.
Because he had a great season and had really, I think if Zion wasn't on his team or didn't just exist as Zion Williamson does, he would be a number 1 overall pick. So in general, I mean, him and John Morant.
Right.
So I'm not gonna dismiss everything that RJ Barrett is. Not to go on an RJ Barrett tangent, but like he has a pretty stealth international resume. Like he beat Coach K's USA team with the under 19 Canadian team, and his skill set is going to translate to the NBA with a development program. Like I think he's going to be a better NBA player than most of the other guys that are going to go early in the draft quickly. Obviously depends on where he goes, but I'm an RJ Barrett fan, regardless of what that performance was and him missing that free throw and the 7 turnovers. Like, okay, he had a bad game. They won on a bounce. Like that's
if he didn't get the offensive rebound the game before, they wouldn't be there.
Right. So, exactly. So, but I don't think it's over for the excitement. Like Auburn, I want Auburn to win. I love the way Auburn plays. Bruce Pearl is a treasure to watch.
That's completely true. Love seeing a big ass sweat. Love it.
Anything GIF. Have we officially decided on that?
I want to say GIF and like let's stop acting like it's too pronounced. I know you do. That's why that's why there's a conversation. It shouldn't be. It's GIF.
I feel like it's GIF.
Talking about peanut butter?
We aren't talking about peanut butter. Although today is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day.
National PB&J Day. To the duos.
With the soda on the side?
What is that? What are you talking about?
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's chicken noodle soup.
Soda on the side. It's soda
a good try,
on the
though.
side. This isn't a diner.
It's a good try, though.
Can I have a PB&J with a soda on the side?
No,
Forget that
milk
milk
stuff. I don't even say
stuff.
soda, let alone drink it. I don't know what I was thinking.
Baseball bat.
Anyway, thanks for that, Heller. Texas Tech is fun too.
Yeah. 2 defensive teams. Like I don't.
And they beat Gonzaga, which is like that's impressive.
Yeah,
It's first national semifinal in school history. Virginia's good, and Michigan State, like Tom Izzo, you still have big names in the Final Four. So I'm excited about this weekend. I think the games are going to be great and fun to watch. I know everyone's kind of disappointed that Zion's not there, and I mean I am too. Like I wanted to see Zion go for a national championship, and that would have been fun. But also, I think kind of people that hate Duke also kind of got vindicated in that spot.
Oh,
so
yes, for
sure.
And
there's some talk out there that Zion's going to possibly come back to college basketball.
He should.
Spoiler alert, he's not.
Zion, give us one more year to watch Zion develop a skill outside of being the most athletic guy who cares the most on the basketball court.
I was okay with whatever Zion's decision was as far as playing or not playing after his shoe blew up.
Yeah.
But this is not go pro. It's okay.
Okay, well, I would say this. Tom Izzo is clearly the best coach in college basketball, with Coach K being the best recruiter in college basketball, and Coach Calipari close second in the recruiting ranks. Is that fair to say?
I would.
When's the last time you saw Coach K coach on the court versus just like let everyone? If Coach K was coaching, he would have gave Zion an actual position earlier on in the season instead of just letting like him and RJ Barrett and.
I mean, it worked out pretty well for them.
They're not in the Final Four. But also the back half of this thing is like a game on Saturday and then the national championship game on Monday. So nobody really cares. It's like it happens like it's like a quick bam bam when April hits.
It does. It moves quickly now.
Right.
But I'm excited about it either way. Virginia's going to play Auburn, and Michigan State will face Texas Tech. Yes. I think it's going to be Auburn and Michigan State, and I am going with Auburn just because I like the way they play.
I'll take that and Michigan State. So go Michigan.
So you're going to go with Michigan
State? Michigan State. Izzo, the boys, love it. I did. I went to a game and I went to a soccer game with the Michigan State basketball team.
Oh, I I went to soccer game with Michigan
I
State
mean, I'm saying
basketball
that, and I was like, oh, these
I'm
guys are very
Brandon.
tall. Yeah,
I do
am.
things.
Yeah, I do things.
All right, what's next?
Sometimes. Okay. The Lakers 2019 season can be described in 5 words: fights, injuries, LeBron, Luke, shutdown. Now we all have to watch the regular season and playoff basketball sans LeBron for the first time in a long time. Joy, a LeBronless playoffs is great for LeBron and the NBA. With it or quit it.
Quit it. Also, no trades. We're not gonna do a trade in the.
Yeah. What trades? What they do?
I mean, the Anthony. I think it's AD.
The absence of a trade.
Or just the brow. No brow. I mean,
Yeah,
I gotta
that's
put
true.
some
That's
stuff in
Salary
there.
dumps too.
Yeah, I'll change Brow for Luke because
No, Luke is definitely a storyline. It's been a storyline before the season even started because of LeVar.
yeah, shut down. I'm being dramatic. It really shouldn't be in there, but like it is now.
Well, yeah, no, it is a part of it now. And look, whatever happened with LeBron's injury and all of the injuries, again, it's not the sexiest storyline of all the storylines surrounding the Lakers,
Right.
but to me, it's the most important because they were playing well. They were going to make the playoffs had all those injuries not happened. I don't know what team can survive losing 3 starters. I mean, maybe still make the playoffs as an 8 seed, but
The Warriors aren't even deep enough for me to even say that. So
I
I'm
don't
not
think
even
so
saying
either.
that. No.
You're
I
gonna
mean,
lose.
I'm not even
I'm not
looking
even
at
gonna do
it.
that. Yeah, this is the point.
Yeah.
The point is, most teams could
Right.
not survive losing
majority.
3 starters for the majority of your season.
Yeah.
So, or a large portion of your season. So, the LeBron shutdown to me, it feels a little bit like what's these extra 2 weeks gonna really do for his injury? But I guess he's an older player now, so maybe. It
34.
doesn't affect their draft stock, like improving their odds of getting a higher pick that much. It
Right.
does a little bit, I guess. So you can kind of throw that in there.
That's a
But
good point.
the bottom line is with LeBron and the Lakers, this season was a disaster. As far as aesthetically, it was a disaster. And the repercussions of what happened during the season, as far as all the storylines goes, which I think could have been protected and rearranged very easily with monumental statements and just a pause on what was going on. Like
Yes.
LeBron could have come out and said, I fully endorse Luke. And he could have stopped with the passive aggressive body language. And
Yeah.
which I don't like to be body language guy. Like it's kind of annoying.
Right.
I just really don't like his body language.
Right. He didn't say it, but he said he hated me. It's like, no, he didn't say it.
But I mean us, like
Yeah.
us
Oh,
as
yes.
viewers, us
Yes,
as
yes,
media,
yes,
judging body
yes.
language, it feels a bit pretentious. But
yeah.
clearly
There's
in this
variables
case,
we
like
don't
they
know
had a
about.
team meeting and there was some body language issues.
But if we're going to play the if game, couldn't we have had that team meeting earlier on in the season? Couldn't he have backed Luke earlier on in the season?
There's so many things that could have gone a different way. The Anthony Davis trade disaster was one of the biggest fiascos probably in trade history.
Yeah.
And a lot of this could have been avoided. And it could have been avoided from the very beginning. You have to foresee issues, right?
Yeah.
So
True. Yeah.
Luke should have been at the meeting with LeBron. Like he should have been there, and it's just the truth. Like
Yeah.
maybe that would have not gotten LeBron, and you're not willing to lose
Exactly.
lose LeBron over Luke Walton, but also you created an instant division.
Right. There can
in
be a
that
text message
situation.
after the conversation and be like, hey, Magic, thanks for you and Luke coming by. How long do you think Luke going to be around?
Right.
That could have been, that
Like-
could have even made the Lakers season 20 games better.
It just feels
Possibly.
right. It just feel, and I don't think all this is Luke's fault either. I don't think it's all LeBron's fault. I don't think it's all Magic and Pelinka's fault. I don't think it's all the trade. I don't think it's all the injuries. There's every piece of the puzzle of the crap stew plays a role in the disgusting flavor. But I just think that like this offseason is so crucial to the legacy of LeBron James. Like the moves that are made, how he rehabs his body. It's unfortunate that Space Jam 2 is being filmed this summer because that feels just like one more thing LeBron got involved in, which he should have said no to. And that's kind of the other thing
Yeah.
too. Like everyone's talking about how like he went Hollywood. And it happens.
And he did.
And he did.
Yeah.
He needed to, in hindsight always, you can rearrange everything. But this was one of those moments where he needed to say just basketball
Yeah.
this
Second
year.
season
Whatever
with
I'm
the
already
Lakers.
currently involved in, fine.
Yeah.
But I'm moving to Los Angeles. I'm moving my family to Los Angeles. Can't underestimate the brand that the Lakers are, which we all did as
Yeah.
far as expectations goes. And I know what this roster is composed of, it's not exactly what I need to be successful, so we have to figure everything out in a way that if we end up keeping any of these guys, it's not a disaster. Like, everything should have been about basketball this year, and I think there'd be a more sympathetic feeling to the plight of the Lakers.
Yeah, and I just appreciate Luke Walton on his way out, because he probably knows he's on the way out. But
I mean, he said last week he's planning on being there next year.
And he's acting like it, and that's what I appreciate, because he's building camaraderie. He's making sure that even though LeBron isn't going to be there, he's still around. They're watching the tournament game together. There's an article about how they went back and forth about Michigan State and Duke game, because Coach K and LeBron are cool and they're fans, and Kuzma's a Michigan State guy, obviously coming from Flint. But it sounds like all of the things that are happening now that the pressure is off of them and they can't make the playoffs, LeBron is actually getting to know his teammates in a way that I would have hoped that happened, maybe during the summer league, or he didn't know his teammates until after he had come back from injury, really.
Well, it always felt like it was LeBron and everybody else.
Right.
And you can't forget.
He didn't help that.
You can't forget. No, he did not. And you can't forget, at the end of the day, it's still a team game. Mm-hmm. And you need everybody to be on the same page and have the same goal. And everybody doesn't have to like each other, but everybody has to fight for each other.
Top to bottom.
And that kind of started with the Chris Paul thing, and it just kind of trickled down for the rest of the season.
It really was.
But anyway.
I don't want to, let me just say this one thing. There was the first LeBron headline as a Lakers fan when I was out here, when they said he was shutting them down for the rest of the season, that I thought to myself, Kobe would never.
Oh no,
and that's problematic for me that it got to that point. And I'm hearing like the Lakers forced them to shut down. Like,
no, I think he wanted to play. I do think he wants to play.
Okay,
I
hope so.
That.
I hope so.
I believe it.
Okay,
but Kobe's winning. Bottom line, stay winning. Golden Mamba.
God, beam.
Hear ye, hear ye. First of all, Game of Thrones is coming back soon, and I cannot wait. Game of Thrones.
Oh,
new trailer dropped today.
I've been watching on that new TV. It looks crazy, like crazy. I might have to have viewing parties. That thing looked crazy.
We might have to do live watches.
We might have to.
Let's do live reaction videos.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't steal that. Yeah. Although I feel like people already do that. We're gonna do our own.
But they ain't doing it on Maybe I'm Crazy.
No, they're not.
All right.
Crazy gang. Anyway, the Browns are petty.
Yes.
So, look, here's the thing about the Browns. All right, they have expectations this year, and I'm here for it because
expectations last year. They drafted Baker.
No, they didn't have expectations
Tyrod Taylor was
last
a
year.
starter. He won a playoff game. Okay, I'm sorry.
They did not have expectations last year. They were still a stupid Browns, and they didn't start Baker Mayfield. So anything that Baker did last year, to me, was a bonus because they set him up for failure from the beginning of that whole situation.
True that.
Hugh Jackson won one game in like 5,000 years, and that's like they did not set him up for success that last year at all. No. This year, however, is different. Now I know Freddie Kitchens is completely and utterly unproven, but they seem to be behind him. So at least he has some connection to the players, which at the very least is like base for me when it comes to coaching.
Yeah,
have some connection to your players.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have gotten the job if him and Baker's relationship wasn't better than Baker's and
Hughes.
Yeah,
right, and Todd Haley. So they put Baker and Odell and Jarvis Landry. And
Myles Garrett
on stage together.
Yep.
Freddie Kitchens was not up there. So basically they're trotting out their very high level talents to rub it all in the AFC North's face, which I'm perfectly fine with. Like, I'm here for petty, and that was that move. I know you're going to try to say like they're trying to show that they're all like on the same page and stuff. Sure. You're also trying to show the Steelers that you got Odell and you got Jarvis and you've got Myles Garrett and you've got Baker Mayfield. Okay?
I was going to argue.
It was not missed on me.
It looks just like having Odell, his best friend from life, with him, and then their last 2 first-round draft picks.
Excellent. Oh, that's what it looks like?
Yeah, his last 2 first-round draft picks.
Literally, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But nobody does anything for literal purposes in these situations. Love the commercial, by the way, with Odell and Jarvis. Excellent work.
I was going to say, should we
Nike
talk about that?
Usually does an amazing job. Excellent work.
Jeez.
I'm super excited for the Browns this year. I know that sounds crazy because I'm from Pittsburgh, but I'm mad at the Steelers right now, so I can do what I want. I do like the way that Baker's talking. Like, he's saying he needs to win Super Bowls. They're doing the best to put the best talent around him, which makes it easier, but he also has higher expectations. I think Baker gets it. I've always felt like Baker got it. And they do have expectations this year. No matter, and Browns fans, it's going to be a new world for you, okay? I've lived it a very long time, so I know. Because the Steelers have Super Bowl expectations every single year.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. I don't know what they're doing right now, but in general, they usually do. Dolphins, different story. But they do have expectations every single year, and now the Browns have these expectations. Now, I don't think anyone is thinking they're going to win a Super Bowl, but you guys better make the playoffs.
They're predicting 9 games. Vegas is like
No. Maybe I wasn't clear.
Okay.
The Browns must make the playoffs.
That's
You cannot trade for
Baker
Odell,
Mayfield's
have
second
Jarvis,
year.
Baker, Myles
new
Garrett,
head coach Freddie Kitchens.
be out here talking about Super Bowls and not make the playoffs. Now, I don't think that that's fair, but those are the expectations you got now. That's what happens when you make these big moves. Okay?
Yeah.
Pull your pants up, get to work.
I just don't like
Hand
the
in
idea.
Okay?
Yes.
This
okay.
big boy stuff now, all right? You want to make big boy moves? You got big boy expectations. That's how this works.
Okay, well, I would say this. They have the talent, and they also have, you saw Baker saying the right things. Freddie Kitchens is saying the right things. Odell is saying the right things. He's talking about his legacy and setting up the life. Like, there's NFL players out here who, if they perform at a high level in their city, their entire families are set in those cities for the rest of their life.
No. That's how it's that deep for Cleveland.
Yeah.
I think it's deeper for Cleveland for the Browns to win a Super Bowl than it was for the Cavs to win an NBA championship. For sure.
Talking about dwarfing LeBron's legacy.
For sure.
Oh,
Without
OBJ
question.
brings. Come on.
I mean,
Jim Brown didn't.
Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not from Cleveland. But I'm very clear about that.
Yeah. Shouts out to Midwest.
But that's how I feel. Like, I feel like that's more impactful for the city of Cleveland to win a Browns Super Bowl than it was for them to win an NBA championship. But either way, I think the Browns are going to be incredibly interesting this year. I wish they were on Hard Knocks this year. It would be so good. I mean, last year was good because Hard Knocks is good. Yeah. But last year was good. It would be great this year. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
It'd be a distraction this year, so I don't want it. So I'm glad because the Browns going to do. What am I talking about? The Ravens, but the Browns, but the Ravens, but the Browns. The Ravens.
I don't really actually think the Ravens are going to be that good this year.
No, but they have to be.
But I don't. That's a tough division.
No.
Except for Cincinnati.
We talk about little brother syndrome. What are they? I can't even find the equivalent of what is Cincinnati in the larger. Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, the Bengals.
The Bengals. We love animal sound effects around here.
Oh my gosh, I love all.
them.
I was saying I need to find the
What
goat.
was it? We haven't done Rams Up in a while.
Well, let's think Ram up. Got Clay Matthews, Ram up.
Rams Up.
Rams up.
Is that what I was saying? Right?
Ram it.
Ram
it.
No, Ram.
Rammer
horns up.
time.
Rammer time.
You were saying all. I
Activate.
think you said all of them.
I'm gonna make this is gonna be a thing at Rams games next year.
Hold your arms like that too.
Oh, for sure.
That's just not. I like it.
Listen,
bro.
we
But you
make
need
the
something with
culture.
it.
All right, we make the culture.
That is
This
true.
is happening.
That's it.
Because this is literally the Ram horns. I mean, come on. If you could see a whole stadium, like
I don't know.
it's
I
hard
don't.
with the beer.
I don't.
But if you
LA
can,
fans though, are LA fans
you
gonna
can
get that into it?
If you could properly twist your hands, yeah. Ram activate.
And then you like run into each other with your elbows.
Also,
Yeah, like, what do you do?
You know what? We've got a lot of good stuff coming up
What's up,
because Avengers is coming too.
I heard you can't even get tickets for the first weekend for Avengers first
No,
weekends in LA.
They snuck on us with the ticket drop. Not cool, yo.
Yeah,
Give us
we
a
ain't
heads
plugged
up.
in like that.
I mean, I don't plan things that far out anyway.
Yeah,
but
nah, we just go after we go to the beach one day. You
right.
feel me?
I mean, who does that?
Head to the Santa Monica Promenade. Be like, oh, okay, yeah, look,
yeah,
you
let's
see?
go.
You know
That's
I
what we
mean?
do around
Let's
here.
do it, yeah.
But
LA.
that's weak, though.
It is weak. It's great that it's on Netflix, though. I'm gonna keep rewatching that.
Can I make my bold prediction for Avengers? You know who saves the world?
Who?
Do you have a thought?
I've heard rumblings and I've heard.
I've heard nothing. This is just my
Okay,
feeling.
so what you got? What you got?
Do you have an actual
I
thought?
actually have a.
Or is your thought based off of things you've heard?
Where do we get thoughts from?
Your,
We're
your
saying like
original,
I've been
your
watching.
original idea in your brain.
No, look, I've been watching all of the Marvel movies, and after seeing one movie that I hadn't watched on Netflix, I have an idea who's going to save the world. What do you got?
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but that's the easy answer.
No, it's not the easy
It
answer.
is Carol Danvers or whatever. That's just easy. That's of course you think.
Why is
she's
that
a strong
easy?
because she's the strongest. She's like big time strong. The person who's actually going to mess everybody up. It's going to be Ant-Man. Paul Rudd, little big ass, gonna
What?
save the world.
No.
Yes, because he gonna go through time and with the little quantum physics
Listen,
things.
as queen of
I'm
the
telling you,
world,
I saw
I
Ant-Man and
forbid
Wasp.
that.
I saw Ant-Man and
forbid
Wasp. They gonna set it up. Paul Rudd gonna save the day on some big little shit.
Forbid that.
You.
I forbid it.
Okay, he gonna get right in between Thanos' fingers when he snap and get crushed.
Okay.
Like a little ant.
Like a little ant?
He's gonna get crushed between Thanos' fingers
Okay.
like a little ant. and then it's gonna save the world.
Aside from the
It's
fact
gonna be a
that
smear
he's
sound.
going to play a role, okay, in saving the world, as all the Avengers do, but he's going to play a crucial role. However, here's the giant hole in your theory,
What?
and it's so blaringly obvious, and I don't know why you won't get it.
Okay.
He's
Don't embarrass yourself now, because comic book fans are like, Brandon's right. Just saying.
I mean, it's 2019. He's a white man. You think they're going to let a white man save the world? All right.
If he's like that is fair. He's like a comedian. He's like not the strong. He's not like the Chris Hemsworth one. You know what I'm saying? Is that his name? It's the Chris one, right?
Yeah.
That's the one in Thor. Chris.
Yeah.
The other one's Liam.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus's boo.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like a stereotype. It's like he's like a former criminal. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like his best friend's T.I. and the guy from Endwatch. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Maybe I need to run this back for you one more time.
I hear you.
I'm telling you, it's Captain Marvel. If that's an obvious take by me, like, forgive me.
No, it's not. It's an obvious movie take. I think Ant-Man, as trash as the films have been, is such a big part of the Marvel universe. It'll be hard to like pull him from this whatever fake narrative we're riding with.
No. He's gonna play a role. He's gonna play a crucial role.
Yeah. He got a hoodie on. He got a hoodie on in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That looked like some.
It's Captain Marvel for show.
I hope so. I like Carol. That's my girl.
I too liked Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Great movie. Anyway, go Browns.
It's time for High Key Low Key.
High Key Low Key.
Yeah.
It's time for High Key Low Key.
I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know why I was like ready to do. It's time for high key low, but that's the thing. It's the drop.
I don't
it's
know.
the drop. We have a drop.
I know we have a
Continue.
drop.
High low, high key, low
no.
key.
So I just start. Okay, high key. Zion and RJ had a rough exit.
Yes.
Low key, they're gonna tear the NBA up.
Really?
Yes. So I mean, obviously, everyone has high expectations for Zion.
Yes.
Coming, and I actually think people have higher expectations for John Morant than they do for RJ at this point.
I think that's fair to say.
Because Zion and Ja are very flashy.
Yeah.
And so that's they're going to go top three. I'm not sure of the order.
Where do you want to see Zion go? I just want to get this quote.
I mean, I want Zion to go to New York.
You want Zion with the Knicks?
Yeah. I don't know if that's the best place for him to be successful.
Right.
But I really have set aside my Knicks bias from being a Heat fan, and I'm functioning now as a national broadcaster. I need the
Yes.
Knicks to be good, like, or at least competitive,
Yeah.
or at least interesting.
Yeah.
It's time. Like, enough already. We've suffered enough under that owner. Just give the Knicks something to be really, really relevant. And I know Porzingis was that for a little bit, but not to the level that Zion is, and not even close. So I hope he goes to the Knicks. Yeah.
Okay. I was
Where do
thinking,
you want him to go?
I was thinking I'd like to
I
see.
don't want him to go to Cleveland. I don't want him to go to Phoenix.
I would like to see Zion at the Hawks. With the Hawks in Atlanta. There is a basketball team in Atlanta that has no culture, and Atlanta is culture filled. And I would imagine I want to see some type of Shaq Penny in Orlando
With Trae Young?
duo
That could be
with
fun.
Trae Young and Zion, because that would be a reason for me to watch the Atlanta Hawks. I like their jerseys. I like the aesthetics. I want to root for the Atlanta Hawks, but you just can't because they're just god awful.
That was not ever what I expected you to say, but sure. I mean,
why not?
that's a take. I don't agree, but I mean, I like Trae Young.
Like, where'd he go? Where are you going to watch? Where are you going to make sure I sat down and make sure I watched LeBron's first NBA game?
I want him to go to the Knicks. I don't want him to go to Cleveland. I don't want him to go to the Suns.
Knicks
I want
is
him to go
good.
to the Knicks. And if the Knicks end up getting Kevin Durant and Kyrie, that's an incredible combination. Like, that'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Every Knicks game would be a must-watch game.
Yeah, three talented
I mean, even just
players
with Zion,
that have no position.
Even just with Zion, that's the case. But I mean, they had a really great season. They're the first freshman teammates to make the AP All-American first team since Boogie and Wall.
Woo.
And
Shouts out to Kentucky. Zion
was named the ACC Player and Rookie of the Year. Made All ACC first team. Got the Wayman Tisdale Award as the nation's top freshman. Averaged 22.6 points, 8.9 rebounds, 2.1 steals, and 1.8 blocks per game. Now, there's some criticism of Zion because of his style of play.
Yes.
And like Gilbert Arenas kind of, had some
Perfect words.
I mean, it's
Perfect
okay
words.
to be critical of Zion. I don't necessarily want to
right
go there
here.
because I don't want to be the guy that was critical of Zion. I know. I'm aware. I keep referring myself to as a guy. I'm aware I'm a woman. I just, it's easier for some people to translate if I just say that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Say
People,
girl.
wait a minute. He's a. We can't say that.
These takes are coming from a woman's face. You gotta read what Gilbert said.
A woman's face. Okay. You mean okay. I don't necessarily make this. Yeah. I'll read it from top. Okay. How about this? We see 27 and 14, but how did he actually get that? Did he post up somebody in college? Did he sit there and left hand grab it, turn around and face, and then get a dunk? No. You got 12 points on a fast break, 12 points sitting here, standing on the wing, waiting for another player to do something, then come back and tomahawk with a cleanup. When I say dominated, your stats are dominating. You are at 6'6" power forward, which you're undersized, and you're 285 pounds. Sounds amazing, sounds great, but in reality, if I say, well, he's Westbrook's height, but he has Shaq's rookie weight, everybody's like, oh, wait, no, that's not, because that's 6'6" and 285. He hasn't posted up at all. He doesn't post up, and didn't post up in high school. It's a lazy post move, whatever he does. We're sitting here because before all, he said at the end of the day, he said, you can be dominant, but not dominant. You have a great, phenomenal player who has no true skill.
Well, okay, so that ending part is the part that is discussable amongst actual players to what actually translates to the NBA about Zion's game.
It's
because
not wrong.
Everything is going to take a level up. The speed is going to go up. The size is going to go up.
Athleticism is not a skill.
Right, because athleticism goes away.
Yes.
Now, again, I think Zion's going to have a great career. I think he's going to be a great NBA player.
Yeah.
I know everyone's talking about Hall of Fame and like these incredible expectations. I think that's unfair. But I also think that RJ Barrett is going to have an incredible career. Like everyone's overreacting to this game.
Yeah.
He averaged 22.6 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game. Like it's almost equivalent to Zion. He had more assists per game. Like 4.3 assists per game. And I mean, he averaged 26.2 points when Williamson was out, and he also got all ACC. So, and RJ is going to get on a development program in the NBA. He's going to watch film. He's going to have a diet. He's going to develop skills with NBA level coaches, and he is going to be able to expand his game quickly. And I think it's going to translate well to the NBA. And he comes from a long basketball lineage.
Steve Nash
is his godfather. His father played for the Canadian Olympic team.
Yeah.
Like he comes from that pedigree anyway. So I'm excited for both of them. I'm excited for Ja Morant. I'm excited for the draft in general to see where everyone goes and what those pieces around them. And basically, the NBA offseason is going to be incredible this year.
They love basketball, so I'm excited to watch them play.
Yeah, and they both, yes, exactly. They both play with a joy for the game, as cliche as that sounds, but they're fun to watch. All right, high key, someone sent a Big Mac into outer space, and low key, I want to eat it. Mainly because I'm hungry, but also
Big Macs are so good.
Big Macs are so good.
They shouldn't be as good as they are.
Where did I rate? Didn't I make Big Macs my favorite? Number one.
Yeah, you made it your number one burger, which it's fair.
Whoppers are good too, man.
Whoppers are good. It's just they don't do well with cheese as much as the Big Macs does. Jeremy almost sleeped out his seat. What do you got to say?
What's wrong, Jeremy?
We're about to find out about.
Are you still upset
Jeremy's
about my Big Mac being number one? The number one, because it's consistent. You've never tasted a Big Mac that didn't taste exactly like the last Big Mac you had.
It's the best burgers though.
Yeah.
Like
what's up there? Like when's the last time you had a bad Big Mac?
Five Guys. Even Shake Shack's bad.
They're all very good. They're all very good. But just the Big Mac is the most consistent, most notorious burger of all time.
We're not talking about consistency.
The Cadillac of burgers.
I know what I'm going to get. I don't know what my Five Guys burger is going to taste like.
What do you
and
mean?
if you don't know what you're going to get with your Big Mac, you can tell them what to do. And I don't know about other things. When you customize it,
sauce.
they customize the hell out of Big Mac. Every time anything you ask for a Big Mac to be changed, they get that to the T. Everything else is a grab bag. If they're going to get it right, they're going to make that Big Mac the way you ask.
Who asks for things to be changed at McDonald's?
I mean,
yeah, that's gross.
That's the only way you know it made fresh. You gotta make custom. Like, if you customize your item, it's made fresh. That is a little fast food fat.
But I want
trick.
all the things that it comes with. Why would I ask for anything?
Yeah,
different?
no, I'm just asking for extra things.
Yeah, exactly.
I just get extra sauce on there.
So anyway, a British YouTuber, Killam, did the...
What a name! The guy's white, so I was just so
I
surprised.
mean, is that literally his last name, like Kalem? Am I saying it right? Maybe it's
that
Kalem?
might be it.
I thought it was
know.
like a Killian thing. I thought it was just some sort of because
Maybe it's a typo.
he's Irish.
Yeah.
No, you're right. But I just
No,
thought
this
it was.
is
I thought it was
It
like
says British.
same
followers,
difference.
yeah.
I can say that. I can say that.
There's
I can get that.
2.7 million people that can tell us if it's pronounced kill 'em or not. But
Okay, whatever. The person sent the food into space.
Yes.
He sent a Big Mac 100,000 feet above the Earth. Now, I'm not a scientist, as we went over earlier.
Right.
But the picture looks like outer space to me.
we're going to show everybody the picture.
Right. Here's the picture. It looks like outer space. I
Yes.
know, like, technically, according to space nerds, it might not be outer space. It might be some, there's like a, the atmosphere.
Right.
Or
Yes.
something.
There's the stratosphere.
That has it left. But that's
literally.
close enough to space for me.
Now,
And-
if you take a picture outside and then you see
The
the
Earth.
blueness of the Earth and then the blackness of whatever the
space,
hell
you're in space.
is that's space.
Yeah.
That's
Like
what
if
this
I'm in a
picture is.
capsule and I'm exactly where that Big Mac was, I went
Right.
to space. I'm an astronaut. Or, a Guardian of the Galaxy, whatever you prefer. Anyway, the point
I like
is,
that.
it went
Skyward.
up and then it came back down, and it's the first McDonald's burger in space. Obviously, I feel like we already knew that. It landed where?
In the Colchester United Football League's training facility.
And he ate it.
Yes.
What did he say about how it
He
tasted?
said it's been outside, so it's a bit crumbly.
What's crumbly? Like it's
You
like
know, when
falling
something's
apart?
like when you like, and he's like, that's not so nice. It tastes like a burger should taste, but very, very dry. I had to chew it for about 2 minutes and force it down. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, there was a cut between when he took the bite of the burger and when he actually showed what was in his mouth and swallowed, which in addition to being weird made me disbelieve that he actually ate it. The footage was great though.
Okay, well, you shouldn't have to chew anything for longer than 30
if it
seconds
gets-
that isn't gum.
It gets frozen in space and then heated up in the
No, I
atmosphere.
mean, I didn't think it was going to come back exactly the same.
Just saying, it's like all
I
kinds
too
of-
would eat it, just for the sake that I could say I ate space food.
Oh yeah, because the food that was actually in space touched the space air.
Yeah.
'Cause, sometimes you put something in the microwave and oh, that's not good. Like In-N-Out fries are terrible in the microwave.
In-N-Out fries are terrible normally.
Don't do that.
So
Don't do that. I'm
I
saying
can't
don't put them in the
imagine-
microwave. If
I
you
can't
out here, you're on
imagine how
vacation.
bad In-N-Out
If you
fries
come
are
out to
when
LA
heated.
in the vacation and you get In-N-Out fries, you eat it later, and you got a microwave in the hotel room. Good for you. Shouts out. Don't put the fries in the microwave. Don't taste good.
Is it good for you to have a microwave in your hotel?
Yeah, it's better than one without one.
Have you stayed in a...
Not one that's at the end of the
Hotel?
hall that everyone uses.
No, but
I'm talking about in the room.
You stay in a hotel room.
next to a safe.
Like a very nice hotel room.
I have it's better for a microwave to be in a hotel room that you didn't know was there versus a hotel that's there's a microwave right there. Does that make sense? Like a hidden microwave is better.
I go the other way on this.
What?
Yeah, I do. And this might be me being spoiled, but if there's a microwave in the room, it's probably not the best room.
But if you see it, it's not the best room. But if it's hidden, it's a great room.
So if
you're
it's
like,
in-
oh, I didn't
so
know
if
there's a
it's
microwave
in the
here.
cabinet?
Yeah. Yes, Joy.
I think you're wrong on this.
Let us know if you've been. Anyone's been hotel
How does
rooms.
anyone else feel about this?
If there's enough cabinet space to hide it to the point where you only notice it when you were like, oh, I want to reheat this food. Let me see if I got one, and then boom, you got one. That's wonderful. But if you can see it while you're laying in bed, that's bad.
Right. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Just,
It's
it's
just-
just
it's
not
not
a nice
good.
hotel
It's
room.
not
Yeah.
good.
That's like a
Right.
sleep lodge.
Ari wants to weigh in.
Huh?
I just don't know if microwave screams luxury hotel.
Right. That's not. I'm already saying what I'm trying
Yeah,
to
but if
say.
they got a toaster oven in there.
Oh, okay. Yes, a luxury hotel is when somebody come get it and microwave it for you. Yes, I agree.
I mean, that's
but
what
then you gotta leave a tip.
That's what we're trying to say.
By the way, does people in the world, do people know about leaving tips for hotel people?
Yes, we do.
I don't. You say you do. I don't know if people know about that because when I found out, I was like, "Word? They expect money for this?"
I forgot this weekend. Sorry.
You didn't do it?
Sorry, Caesars folks. That's my bad.
You didn't leave any for the
I forgot.
for housekeeping.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of life. I've forgotten Brandon and Michelle's gift for 3
it's
weeks.
his fault, though.
So it is his fault at this point.
My gift.
Loser power rankings. Loser power rankings. Loser of the week, including you for never being ready for losers.
I just spilled the water and I had the water in my mouth.
Yeah, Brandon just spilled water all over his laptop.
And you wrong for that.
We do the same thing every week.
You wrong for that.
All right, so if you haven't watched the podcast before, then you don't know that we have a theory about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Which is that there are two Tom Bradys. There's Pod Tom, and then there's actual Tom Brady. Actual Tom Brady is very dynamic, and he yells on the
Yes.
sidelines. He sweats, human sweat.
Has opinions.
Yeah. He does things.
Human sweat.
Yeah. And then there's Pod Tom, who remarkably does not sweat.
No, he's very shiny at the same time, though.
Right, but as if he's been misted by pod juice.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Listen.
Like it's like a pod lotion that you put on the pod thing.
Yeah.
So
like
it looks
before he
human.
went out, he got like sprayed with like a mist, and it was like, okay.
Right. He's like, now we can release Pod Tom.
But we got to finish talking about who Pod Tom is.
All right. So Pod Tom
yes.
is Pod Tom is he's like. Kind of like that. I just like a look of like a little too much air on the bottom teeth. He's oddly tanned.
Yes.
At all times of the year.
Yes. Regular Tom Brady is at the parades. Pod Tom is at the
Met Gala.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want an example of Pod Tom right in your face,
right.
it's Met Gala Pod Tom.
Every time.
Like look up Met Gala. That's Pod Tom.
Yes.
Pod Tom has attacked Twitter. And so Tom Brady
yes.
got on Twitter for the first time on April 1st,
nudge, nudge.
which is obviously everyone's favorite day to make terrible jokes. And
admittedly,
I used to participate in April Fools, and I was very lazy about it. It was never funny.
Yeah.
And it's because April Fools jokes are stupid. And they're just dumb, and nobody thinks they're funny.
So how do you forget every year? I remember all the holidays right before they come.
It's
weeks
because
before
April
they come.
Fool's Day is not a holiday.
It's just like, but people, they do things on the
What,
day.
you know what April Fool's Day is? April Fool's Day is the one day that people who are not funny think that their jokes are funny.
Yo.
Bars. Big facts. 100%. Woo, write it down.
I don't feel like I need to elaborate on that.
Because those are the people who got it circled on the calendar.
Oh, they know. They've been waiting.
Oh, my
They've been waiting
gosh.
and playing like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm about to do this April Fool's joke.
Yeah,
Now,
St.
if
Patty's Day,
something-
like, ooh, it's
if
coming.
something comes
Ooh, it's
across, if something comes across your plate,
Right.
and it happens to be April Fool's Day,
Right.
and you choose to release that, that's something different.
Yes.
Okay, because then it has at least the air of authenticity to the joke.
Yes.
But if you've been planning for anything more than 20 minutes
Stop.
for your April Fool's joke,
Cut it out.
it's not. Just stop it.
Yeah.
So
Grow
anyway,
up.
Tom Brady
Possibly.
got on Twitter, and instead of doing what he should have done if he was going to make a good joke, I know this just goes against my argument for the quickly planned thing.
Yes.
In this case, this would have been an actual good joke, which actual Tom Brady would have done, but Pod Tom was allowed to use the Twitter machine instead. So he got on and tweeted, "I'm retiring, period. In my spare time, comma, I'll be tweeting. Hashtag LFG." And then just, not too long after that, he responded, "Was this a bad joke?" Now, look, obviously it was a bad joke. We know that. You knew that when he tweeted it. But what could have happened here could have actually been a really, really good joke. Okay?
Yeah.
Because he could have, in my mind, like the way to do this joke, if you're going to do it, right?
Please.
I mean, I know it flies in my theory of if you're a regular person and you have the opportunity to do an April Fool's joke on the fly and haven't planned about it much, cool. I'm okay with that. If you're a celebrity and you're going to do an April Fool's joke, just do it right. All right?
Right.
This is a situation where he could have had someone edit like a video with some inspiring music, all cut downs of bad moments of his interceptions and like just getting sacked.
1 yard runs.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like just him trying to catch a ball. All right. His running at the combine. You know what I mean? Like just so it's clearly it's tricking you because it's inspirational music, but it's all these bad moments.
Highlight, lowlights.
And then he does this long soliloquy about what the game's given to him and like blah blah blah. He's retiring. Right. Put that out there. Anyone who is savvy will be like, wait a minute, these are all lowlights. It is April Fool's.
Yes.
Like, clearly this is a joke.
All Super Bowl
and then
losses.
all of the overreactionary dummies are going to be like, no, it's Tom Brady! And that would have been a good joke, right? But instead we got Pod Tom joke. I'm retiring.
Yeah. And retire April Fool's jokes with it. Because
Yes.
that's
oh
just
my
not
God. Can we
just-
cancel April Fool's?
Yeah, we can just move on.
Oh, say
we
it
can move
again.
on.
Say it one more time.
Retire April Fool's jokes. Unless y'all want to, unless Pod Tom, regular time, if you listen, do what Joy did, because that'll be funny. Do that next year.
Well, we can't. It's ruined now.
Hey, you can do it again. There's going to be a new social media site.
You know what? And there will be plenty of dummies who will fall for April Fool's
Yeah, of
jokes
course.
again. All right. So the AAF, this is sad. The AAF is expected to suspend all operations today. The owner, Tom Dundon, stands to lose $70 million and made the decision to suspend operation against the wishes of league co-founders Charlie Ebersol and Bill Polian. And the AAF has obviously been in financial trouble basically since the season started.
8 weeks ago.
This makes me sad because I was rooting for this to work. I still think that it can work.
Yeah.
But The issue with this league, and we were discussing it on the Herd today, that's different than the G League or minor league baseball, is there wasn't a direct relationship with the NFL. So the G League, while it might have independent owners, has a direct relationship with the NBA.
Right.
NBA players are sent down to G League to rehab. NBA players are brought up from G League after developing. Like there is a connection there. It's run by the league.
Proper minor league.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it can be better. They could be paid more. Like there are things that could improve with the G League, but overall it's run through the NBA. Same with minor league baseball. Like there is a connection. They are the minor league team of the major league baseball team. So they're supported. If you're going to launch a league, it has to have the money behind it to last a long time. And if it's football, there's so many more people you have to pay. You got to have long money, and you're going to lose money in the beginning. Like you have to be in it for the long haul. And I get it. That's easy to say. I don't have $70 million lying around to lose, but you got to foresee that. Like this, you know how many people are on a football team. You know how many coaches you have. You know how many trainers you have. You know what insurance costs. You know what it costs to book these venues. Like
almost more variables than any other sport.
You know how much towels cost, and water and food and transportation and hotels. Like there are logistics to this that take years and years and years of planning, and you have to be able to budget out for those years. How is it not like this is how much it's going to cost plus let's add a little extra in case something comes up?
Are you interested?
Is that not how a business is run? Like you can't expect to make money the first year or first 5 years on this thing. Like it is a long haul situation, and I think it's strange because sports are at a premium right now in Contentville. Like it's the last live thing you have to watch. You can do everything else on demand, and it doesn't matter unless it's like Game of Thrones or the Oscars. In which case you can kind of watch the Oscars later too. Just stay off social media. It's not the end of the world. But like sports, you have to watch live. So they're at a premium right now. They're airing cornhole tournaments on ESPN, like
spike ball tournaments,
right? Like everything that is competitive can be aired,
right?
And I that's why I think the XFL will work, because it has the structure to last the test of time when it comes to a football structure.
Right.
Now, the AAF was trying to create a relationship with the NFL, but like that's where I think it's missed. Like you have to have the support of the bigger entity in order to be successful, or you have to do something totally different. But that it sucks. Like it sucks for the players.
Yeah, Bill Pauline wanted to be.
I was really rooting for this to work.
Right. It could have, if they gave it some years to get the NFL interested, but the creator or whoever the guy was pulling out all of his funds and money, he wanted an immediate feeder system.
It's not an immediate situation. Like it just, and a lot of that has to do with branding, and you have to brand things too. And just in general, just with all leagues, like everyone's on their phones all day. So reach people through the phone.
I was trying to think. What's that Kiss Me Through the Phone song? I can't get Kiss Me Through the Phone. What is that?
Soulja Boy.
Is it Soulja Boy? Baby, you know that
people say he invented FaceTime with Kiss Me Through the Phone.
Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, phone. Yeah, because people on it.
All right, what's in the culture report this week?
2019's Coachella lineup has officially been announced, and as always, there are some familiar faces headlining the infamous Desert Music Festival. Childish Gambino, Janelle Monáe, Ariana Grande, Solange, J Balvin, and just recently Kanye West, who dropped out of the performance's main stage because of creative differences earlier on in the year, has now been added to the second weekend stage. Kanye announced he will be holding a Sunday service at sunrise on Easter Sunday during the second weekend of the California Music Festival. In the past couple of months, you've probably seen clips of Kanye behind a keyboard wearing some Timbs with mountains surrounding him, about 50 gospel singers all dressed in white singing some old gospel hits. We have no idea what to expect from Kanye's church service in hell, but I'm guessing it's going to be a different version of that on steroids. Joy, when we going to Coachella?
Definitely never.
You keep teetering. You go never, and you say you might have to go. I'm in the same place. This is the perfect time to go.
Here's the actual answer.
I'm not going to, but it's perfect
Earl
time.
wants to go to Coachella, I will go to Coachella. Otherwise, not going to Coachella.
Get Earl on board, Coach. I don't.
We've had many conversations about Coachella, and then we realized we're just really not Coachella people.
Yeah, if I was going with y'all, I have a much better time than like going to like with someone like my friends or someone that like we're like sharing stuff.
That's about
like,
you, Heller.
Yeah, it's like I just got like.
Here's the thing, I'm
saying I would like to be. I would go like a pampered style tent.
Yes,
Something that Earl can provide.
Bougie. I'm bougie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't like dirt. I hear there's a lot of dirt there.
A lot of dirt, desert.
I hear it's hot.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to find places to sit.
Yeah.
And all those things sound awful. Yeah. So I don't like the music is great, obviously, and I'm sure it's a wonderful experience. I watched Beyonce's performance via stream. Felt like I was there.
That was amazing.
I obviously wasn't, but Ariana was there. Yeah.
How was
we
that
need a
Beyonce
pro
show?
Coachella voice. All right, what you got?
So tell us why we should go to Coachella.
No, okay, look. Well, this is gonna sound bougie, but if you go VIP, you have places to sit.
Right.
So there's not too many people. There's really good food. You're comfortable. Yes, you're gonna walk 20 miles every day, and you're gonna be really hot.
If you're ready for the experience,
but you get good exercise.
Yeah,
and
you walk into the
20 miles.
It's crazy because you're walking back and forth around the fairgrounds. It doesn't feel like it, but you're walking a lot.
Yeah, get a UCLA alumni tent. I walk right over there.
Regarding the Beyonce was amazing. I'm sure you did not feel it by watching it on YouTube. But we left early to go to some after party. Missed Destiny's Child going on.
What?
Walked around for an hour and a half looking for our car. It was horrible. But Coachella's awesome, so you should go.
That's just
there was an article about 10 apps that you should download before you go to Coachella. The third one was Find My Friend. And I was like, this sounds like not
It's
fun
10
at
extra
all.
apps
It's
just
a
to
lot.
go somewhere?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, the point is, I will go if Earl wants to go. If Earl's not going, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And,
2020. Let's look at 2020
Mostly
Coachella.
because we go everywhere together to begin with.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think that that's an experience that we would necessarily enjoy for many of the reasons she just mentioned.
Yeah, it looks like an adventure, an adventure. And if you're ready for an adventure at an old age,
I've had
that's
lots of
perfect
adventures.
time.
So the point is, but I do think this Kanye church thing is very interesting. As I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a lot of people going to church who haven't been to church in a while,
Nope. First
or maybe
church,
ever.
Kanye church.
And this is their first experience with Black church, which is different than other church. Different than regular church.
And we don't even know if he's going to be able to deliver that too. So it's just a lot of ifs with this thing.
You don't think he's going to deliver full Black church?
I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can deliver. I mean, if he gets a chance down there
in order for it to be
deliver a sermon,
true Black church, it's going to be all day. So there's that.
start
that's
at sunrise, end at sunset.
Right.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, it's going to be very long. It's not going to be.
That is true.
Add
Outside too.
2 hours on whatever time expected to be out of there.
That's why, in like Black church is usually inside because you don't recognize the sun going down. But this one, you might have to. You know what I'm saying? It's an actual like you can see the shadow move. You're like, dang,
But you're going
to
be uplifted. Your soul is going to
Yes.
feel differently when you leave.
Yes.
But I'm excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, he's had a bunch of those singers that are going to perform sign NDAs for whatever reason. It's just, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Kanye
I'm very
got.
skeptical of this.
Skeptical of Kanye right now.
Big gospel music person.
Yeah. Kanye always playing something. That's what I'm saying.
Kirk
It's not
Franklin, Spotify is a regular in the Joy Taylor vehicle on the way to work in the morning. I gotta get in a good space.
What song's on this week? Just one that stuck with you. The one you woke up singing.
Oh man, where do I start? Love, a word that comes and goes.
Should we get on the table right now?
A few people really know.
Well, I don't know that song.
What do you mean you don't know that song?
Didn't ring a bell from
Smile.
the title since all it. Okay, what's that one? Okay, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Jeremy, sing that one.
Heathens.
Smile.
No. Never give up now.
Did you say smile again? Oh. And that's it?
No, the whole
It's a song. Whatever. Anyway, the
stomp.
point is, Kirk Franklin is a regular streaming channel. on my
Kanye
car.
on that Kirk Franklin gospel playlist?
Zero Kanye.
Oh, that's weird.
Why would there be Kanye in the Kirk
Ultralight
Franklin?
Beam is a gospel song.
Why is Kanye doing gospel? I don't know.
Atheist, put the mic down.
She's called an atheist.
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 You know, someone who doesn't believe? Okay.
All right, thanks for joining us this week.
Yes.
We will catch you next week as usual. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel, Maybe I'm Crazy Podcast.
Yep.
Follow Brandon, Newman Show 99,
Squad.
myself, Joy Taylor Talks, and the podcast at Maybe I'm Crazy Pod. And this week we're starting something a little new. So I hope you know about it because it involves you. So make sure that you are subscribed.
Yes.
Friday mornings. We are going to be dropping Brandon Newsman. Maybe I'm Crazy Podcast updates. So, we do a once a week podcast.
Yes.
So later in the week, we have some things we have some opinions about.
Yes.
Brandon's going to drop those for you, play the best clip from our podcast today.
Bam, bam.
So you can relive that. Just give some fresh takes on what's going on in the world.
Yeah, and I'm going to be in the comments, Crazy Gang. I'm going to be in the comments shortly after it's uploaded. So, give me something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be in there.
Yeah, comment heavy, share, tell your friends about
Crazy
it.
Gang, a Crazy Gang platform.
Yeah, Crazy Gang for life.
Yes.
We appreciate you, and we will catch you on Friday morning.
Bye.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.